見つけた。
ひそか。
Gon Freecss is arguably the most technical fighter in Jump Force. He has interesting synergy and combos within his moveset that allow him to easily mix his opponent up. However, as Gon's strength can easily kill his opponent, it can just as easily get him killed. Gon comes from the world of Hunter x Hunter. He's a young boy fascinated with becoming a hunter, much like his father. The hunter job description is quite ambiguous, but for Gon it's led him through a number of challenges and meeting several people who've helped him improve his strength. Gon's ability to confuse and mix his opponent up is translated well from anime to Jump Force. Gon's first ability is called Jajenken Stance. As you may have guessed, this is a stance ability. When Gon activates this ability, he enters the Jajenken stance and is completely vulnerable whilst chanting the word Janken. Once he said these words, you can use one of his 3 attack options. By holding down the ability button, you can maintain the Jajenken stance and use the control stick to make incremental movements in 4 directions. Holding the guard button will cancel the Jajenken stance and put Gon in a regular guard. Jajenken only costs 1 bar to use no matter which attack option or just general option you select. Whilst in the Jajenken stance, pressing the light attack button will use the rock attack. Rock is a short range punch attack which is effective as a high damage combo ender. It's difficult to follow up off this attack, but its extremely high damage makes it okay. Despite the extremely short range, Gon does take a slight lunge forwards when you're going for the punch, so it's important to learn how you may want to use this within a combo. Rock is also unblockable, which plays into the mix-up potential of this ability, which we'll cover in a second. Not much more to say about this ability though. When looking to completely end a combo, always look to use this, but always be mindful of its limited range. Whilst in the Jajenken stance, pressing the heavy attack button will use the scissors attack. Scissors is a bladed attack which moves horizontally from right to left. This works well as a combo starter or extender. This ability has more range than Rock, so it's useful if an enemy is just out of reach, whether you're extending or starting a combo, and the damage is solid enough that it may still be used as an ender, it's just less advised. The hitbox of this ability can make it awkward to actually hit an enemy if they're too close, so take some time to understand this attack to land it on a consistent basis. It will be very important. Mixing this ability up with Rock can be devastating for the opponent. Whilst in the Jajenken stance, pressing the grab button will use the paper attack. Paper is a projectile with deceptively long range. This move is the most versatile of the 3. Here's why. For starters, this is a great buffer tool to use a second Jajenken, I'll explain later. It's also effective if the opponent moves out of range of both your rock and scissors attacks. In terms of pure damage and crowd control, this attack is the weakest of the 3, but its range more than makes up for this. The paper attack alone makes Gon far more versatile and compensates for one of his shortcomings, which is range. Gon's second ability is called Fortify. Gon concentrates his energy to defense, boosting his physical resistance for about 25 seconds. Whilst Gon has the Fortify buff applied, his Jajenken cannot be slowed by enemy attacks, allowing him to easily close in on the opponent and hit them with the attack of his choosing. This ability only costs 1 bar to use and is useful as a general buff if you're looking for some extra protection, but also helps your Jajenken become a defensive tool, using it to counter-attack an opponent in the neutral. I don't use this ability all too often, and this is mainly because of the power of his third ability. Gon's third ability is called Temper. After a very short delay, Gon will apply the Temper buff to himself. This buff boosts ability power as well as allowing him to use 2 Jajenken attacks consecutively for the same cost of 1 energy bar. This buff requires 2 energy bars to use and is an incredibly powerful part of mastering Gon's moveset and maximising your damage options. This ability turns what's already powerful about Jajenken and makes it even more potent. You can only do a maximum of 2 Jajenken attacks before you are forced to leave the stance, and these can be done in any order. Paper paper, scissors rock, you can do any combination. Please note that because of the knockback of Rock, it's best to use Rock if you're looking to end the combo entirely. Gon's awaken ability is called Resolute Fist. Gon dashes forward fairly slowly and with short range compared to other awakened abilities to begin the attack. Upon connecting with the opponent, Gon will unleash all the power he possibly can, maturing his body to adulthood. He then uses a short attack combination to deal high damage to the opponent. This ability is mostly straightforward. It's a dash super with a short animation and it looks cool. However, one thing to note is that when you successfully use this ability, you will no longer be able to use Gon for the rest of the round in any capacity, no assists or switching to Gon. This means that if you use it very early on, you won't be able to use Gon until the next round. I would recommend building a team that still allows you to perform well without your main force Gon. When you call upon Gon as an assist, he uses Jajenken Paper attack twice. This is the ranged attack. This is a solid assist overall. It's decent for continuing combos or confirming into attacks and isn't too bad in the neutral either. Personally, I feel like other supports can do what this can do, but just better. Piccolo or Rukia for better combos, Gaara or Hisoka for better neutral applications. Practice will be required if you're looking to use this for combo extension because the timing of the attack can be awkward. The game plan with Gon is very situational because of the way that his Jigenkin and boss work. Generally with Gon, close range is the absolute sweet spot, so you always want to be here for the best damage and mix-up options. Gon's down tilt is an excellent way to get in and can dodge many attacks as well. It may also be used to open up your opponent, so take some time to understand this. Pair Gon with an assist that can allow time to activate another Jigenkin if he himself cannot capitalise off of the hit stun. This will allow you to very easily rack up high amounts of damage. I like to use Jotaro or Killua. Gon's versatility allows him to play in the mid range as well. Jigenkin Scissors can be a great neutral tool to allow for a combo given the range is correct, but may leave Gon wide open to attack. Temper is definitely a very useful tool if you're wanting to maximise your damage potential, but always be mindful of its cost. Always be on the lookout for situations where you can use your Fortify buff. While it's not as powerful or flashy, it still has its uses, especially considering that it's a cheaper move. Gon's strength is the variety in his moveset, so use as much of it as you can to be the most effective. When I first played Gon, I definitely struggled with his technical moveset. He has 2 buff abilities and a stance ability that I found difficult to combo with. However, once I dedicated a small amount of time to learning how Gon's Jigenkin works, how to combo, use his buffs and when to use which Jigenkin attacks, I found Gon to be incredibly powerful. I'd argue that Gon is one of the strongest characters in the entire game. His Jigenkin serves as a great combo mix-up tool with good damage, utility, or range depending on your option select. His buffs allow you to enforce a certain approach with his Jigenkin as well. His assist is also solid, being decent to keep an opponent in hit stun to allow for an easy confirm. Even though his ultimate ability effectively kills him for the rest of the round, it's still easy to use and deals good damage. Gon is an easy recommendation for anyone willing to spend a little bit of time to learn how his Jigenkin properly works, or anyone who enjoys close range mind games to outplay their opponent. You'll find an incredibly powerful and versatile character if you do so. Guys, this has been the character overview for Gon Freecss. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.